Changing the chart format involves adding, removing, and modifying individual chart elements, like the title and the data series. In this lesson, you learn to change the grid lines display, add axis titles, change the border color, and add a shadow to an object. Here's the chart we're working on. We want to make some formatting changes to make sure it's easy to interpret and to improve its overall appearance. When we're finished, the chart will look like this. We've made formatting changes to the grid lines, these lines that extend across the plot area, to make it easier to distinguish the values. We've also added axis titles, modified the axis labels, and made changes to the chart title. That's a lot to do, so let's get started. In Step 1, with the chart still selected, on the Chart Tools Design tab, in the Chart Layouts group, I'll click the Add Chart Element button. It makes it easy to create and modify individual chart objects, like axes, titles, and labels. I'll point to grid lines. Then I'll click Primary Major Horizontal to deselect it. And the grid lines are removed from the chart. In Step 2, I'll click the Chart Elements button. This is another way to change chart elements. I'll click the grid lines arrow, and this flyout menu opens. I'll click Primary Major Horizontal, and also Primary Minor Horizontal. Then I'll click the button again to close it. Now our major grid lines are back, and we've also got minor grid lines, which show the values between the tick marks. In Step 3, I'll click the chart element, and next to Axis Titles, instead of clicking the arrow, I'll click the checkbox. That selects all available Axis Titles options. Then in the chart, I'll triple-click the vertical axis title, and I'll type Expenses in Dollars. That will help clarify this information. In Step 4, I'll triple-click the horizontal axis title. Then I'll type Tour Countries. In Step 5, I'll right-click the horizontal axis labels. And notice that the shortcut menu and mini toolbar present options to the currently selected item. I'll click Font, and the Font dialog box opens. I'll click the Latin text font list arrow, down, a long way down, and I'll click Times New Roman. Then I'll click the Size Down arrow, click until just plain 8 is displayed, then I'll click OK. In Step 6, with these labels still selected, I'll click the Home tab. In the Clipboard group, I'll click the Format Painter button. Then I'll click within the vertical axis labels. In Step 7, I'll right-click the chart title, and again, our options are geared to the chart title, although of course you can also access other tools like changing the chart type. I'll click Format Chart Title, and the Format Chart Title pane opens. I'll click the border arrow, and I'll click the Solid Line option button. In Step 8, in the pane, I'll click the Effects button, and the pane displays available effects categories. I'll click Shadow. I'll click the Presets list arrow. In the outer group, I'll click this first choice, Offset Diagonal Bottom Right. Then I'll click the pane's Close button. And here's my formatted chart title. I'll finish up by saving my work. To try these steps yourself and see some additional tips, turn to page Excel 88 in your book. You can also learn how to add data labels to a chart in order to identify individual data markers for your audience.